everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lori from bookishlylori, and today I have for you a book haul from a used bookstore that is not in my area. So recently I went on a little trip to visit my family in Louisiana, and closer to where they live, they have a used bookstore called Second and Charles. So every time I go visit my family once or twice a year, I go there because we don't have one in the area I live in, Texas. I know there are some in Texas, but they're just not close to where I live. So it's kind of funny. They're further to drive to Louisiana and go. Maybe one day I'll visit the locations in Texas. I think there's one in Conroe and maybe Beaumont. So maybe one day I'll go to the Texas ones. But for now, it just makes more sense. I'm already visiting my family. It's very close to where my family lives, so every time I go visit them, it's like a little treat to myself to get a little book haul from Second and Charles. So I'm going to share with you today the books that I got. Right off the bat, when I walked in, they had like a really big 50% off display, and I saw a book that I have recently read. So this is Pucking Around by Emily Rathner. I was excited to see it was 50% off, so I had to grab it because I had just recently read this and I wanted to add it to my collection. I've actually already read this first book, the second book, the first set of novellas, and I'm going to read the second set of novellas. And then there's a third book coming out. So I don't know how many books she plans for this series. But as you can see on the top, it says best-selling TikTok hockey romance. So this was really popular on the book talk side of the internet, hockey romance. I am not usually a sports romance girly, but this one has kind of changed my mind because I'm starting to be more interested in hockey romances, maybe some baseball romances, football, probably not so much, even though I'm from Texas, yeah. But this was good. This is like an MMF, no, not MMF, MFMM. Yeah. So there was a lot going on in that aspect, but I overall enjoyed it. It was just entertaining. It was a fun read. It was a chunky read, but it was very fun. I listened to it on audiobook. So when I saw it there, I had to go ahead and grab it from my shelves. Next up, I found this cute little summery duet. So Island Affair and Anchored Hearts by Priscilla Oliveras. So I don't really know much about these. I kind of just briefly read the description, something about family vacation, and yeah, the first book, they're in Florida, in Key West, and I honestly don't really need to know much about these. I thought the covers were really cute, giving summery vibes, so I was going to add these to my TBR and hopefully pick them up this summer. Okay, next up, I was browsing through like the thrillers, and as I've been mentioning for a few videos now, I'm trying to be in my thriller era, so I needed to add a few to my TBR to give me some options. I've also recently been watching Desperate Housewives for the first time. I watched it when I was younger, when it like originally came out, but I needed something like to binge watch this summer, so I started rewatching the whole Desperate Housewives series. And so when I came across this book, Such a Lovely Family by Aggie Bloom Thompson, at first I was like, oh, this must be in the wrong section, because at first glance it looks like contemporary romance, right? Well, if you look closer, there's like a little speck of blood, oh goodness, on the cover, and the tagline says, a sharp, clever, and irresistible thriller from the master of suburban scandal. And reading the back, it was giving me kind of like Desperate Housewives vibe, but make it like actually more of a thriller, which if you ever watch Desperate Housewives, it's totally like camp, classic, like housewives and all their like suburban drama and stuff like that. It's just like a guilty pleasure type show, but this seems like it would be that, but more of a thriller setting. So I don't really know much about this. Don't want to know, especially going into a thriller. I just kind of want to go in blind. But I just thought that was really fun, that it kind of seems like that idyllic suburban kind of setup, and then obviously like they're not really the perfect family, and they got a lot of maybe some darkness going on for them. So I think this will be an interesting thriller read. Also in the thriller section, I found a copy of The Girl in 6E by A.R. Torr. I had tried to read this a couple years ago and I just put it down. I wasn't really interested in it at the time, but I am going to go ahead and give it a second try reading it physically. I think I tried to pick it up on an audiobook and for whatever reason, it didn't hold my interest at the time, but I think as I've grown as a reader, this sounds like something I would really be interested in. I will read you the back just because I think it describes it really well. So she says, "My life is simple as long as I follow the rules. 1, don't leave the apartment. 2, never let anyone in. 3, don't kill anyone. I've obeyed these rules for 3 years, but rules were made to be broken." So from what I remember, it's about a girl who she feels like she has murderous tendencies and the desire to kill. And so to protect others and to stop herself from doing this, she has locked herself in her apartment, like has her groceries delivered, everything like that. Probably seemed a little crazier pre-COVID times, but now that's kind of like how we normally live. Everything is like delivered and everything for most people. But yeah, so she's a cam girl actually, so that's how she makes money working from home. And so there's some scandal, there's some salaciousness in here. I just think it's a really interesting setup for a thriller. I think it's a series where there's more than one book following the same characters. So I'm interested to pick this up and give it another try. Next I picked up Reckless Girls by Rachel Hawkins. The tagline says, "They're dying for an escape." So another thriller pick. This one also seems like a good summertime read, so I'm probably going to pick this one up pretty soon. All I know about this one is there's something about 6 20-somethings, 6 young people trapped on an island. So I don't really want to know anything else with it being a thriller. I want to go in blind, but it seems like it would be a good summertime read. Next I found Her Soul to Take by Harley LaRue. This is another one. I hate how they kind of printed on the books now. It's like the best-selling TikTok dark romance. Like, it's popular on TikTok. But, I mean, I get it. It's a selling point if it is popular on TikTok online. I have had mixed results with my foray and my journey into trying dark romance. So, we'll see how this one falls. I've had some success, some not success. So we'll see how I end up liking this one. One says, "A college student has unleashed an irresistible darkness, a soul-hungry demon who might be her only chance at survival," in the dark romance series by TikTok sensation Harley LaRue. So we'll see. I don't know about this, but because paranormal romance is not usually my thing, but I'm willing to give it a try. I always think it's a good idea to get books that are like not your typical comfort zone, because once, like, my comfort zone is contemporary romance, so once I've read like a series of contemporary romance, or I've been reading a lot of contemporary romance books in a row, it is good to like kind of cleanse the palate and break it up with like a thriller or a dark romance. So we'll see how this one treats me. We'll see how it goes. And the last book, single book that I found was Mistletoe and Mr. Right by Sarah Morgan Thaler. So, classic Christmas romance, gotta have it for my December TBR. It's gonna be full of Christmas romances. Honestly, I start reading Christmas romances in like November, and I read them November, December, and January. So for 3 months, I love binging Christmas romance. I love Hallmark movies. I love all that, and the cozy vibes, making cups of hot cocoa, reading Christmas romances. It's my favorite thing to do every year. It's my favorite time of the year. I'm ready. So I will always be picking up Christmas holiday themed romances. So again, I don't need to know what this is about. I saw the cute cover. I saw that it's a holiday-ish romance. I think it's set in Alaska. Yep, Moose Springs, Alaska. That's all I need to know. Bring it on. I'm ready. And then the last thing for this video, it was super exciting because at Second and Charles, they have these blind date with a book. So I picked up 2 of them. So the first one, they come with bookmarks. So I got this cute little bookmark and a magnetic bookmark. It's just like a floral. Oh wait, it says something. Inspire. Cute. So I got 2 little bookmarks with that one. And the description they wrote on here, quirky, deadpan, and lacking a few social skills, she doesn't think much is missing from her life until she starts spending time with the sweet IT guy from work. Maybe she doesn't know she doesn't have to stay dull and brokenhearted. So, and then they put like some tropes on here. So this is adult fiction, book club, mental health, literary fiction, neurodivergent coded. So let's see what this is. I tried to pick ones that like I couldn't guess because there were some that were like really obvious that I knew from the description were books that I had already read or had already heard of. So, oh wow, okay, so I have heard of this book. I did not know what it was about, and I did not guess this from the description on the front. So this is Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeybin. Yeah, literary fiction. I don't typically read literary fiction. I have heard of this book though. It is a Reese's Book Club, like from Reese Witherspoon. So, okay, I mean, I'll give it a try. I'll add it to the TBR. It's not necessarily a book I would have chosen myself, but I guess that's the kind of the fun and the gamble of getting a blind date with a book. So, okay, cool. And here's the last book I hauled from Second & Charles, and it's also a blind date with a book. This time I got a cute little unicorn bookmark. And this is like just a Second & Charles bookmark. So the cover description for this one says, a beautiful story of first love blooming between two teen outcasts and how they work through their change and traumas by having each other. So the tropes are YA, romance, coming of age, the kids are not all right. This one was suggested by Evan. Let's see. Did I pick two books by Evan? Oh wow, okay, I didn't even notice this. I picked two books that were suggested by Evan, so let's see what Evan got for me this time. Oh no. Oh, okay. Alright, Evan. So I got Eleanor in Park by Rainbow Rowell. I don't know if I'm going to keep this. I heard like a lot of questionable things about the writing of this book and the representation of our Asian character in this book. Kind of left a sour taste in my mouth. But you know what? If Evan really thinks that highly of it and there's something to be gained from it, I'll give it a try, Evan. I'll give it a try for you if you're out there. If you work at the Half Price Books, not the Half Price, the Second & Charles in Louisiana. And apparently this is like one of your favorite books because you recommended it for Blind Date with a Book. If you've read this book, tell me what you think of it. I mean, I'll give it a try, but we'll see. We'll see. In total, these are all the books. These are all the books I got on my semi-annual book trip to Second & Charles. And that's all I have for you for this video. So if you watched the whole thing, thank you so much. I can't wait to bring another haul for you guys. I love doing book hauls. But I will slowly be starting to slow down with book hauls because my shelves are, I need to fill them up, but they're getting pretty full. And my TBR cart is pretty full. So yeah, like I said, hopefully maybe one day I could do another video of like going to the Second & Charles locations that we have here in Texas. But as for right now, it is fun and a treat for myself getting to go when I go visit my family. So there's my little haul. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!